Hey Alan, this is Ryan from Trend Lizard. I hope you had a wonderful week, getting ready to have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for sending me the email. Thanks for being a part of the Trend Lizard community. I wanted to take a look at the three tickers that you sent me earlier today and break those down for you. You asked for Tesla as well as Pinduoduo, as well as Velodyne Lidar, I believe. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that, but I'm going to take a look at those three tickers for you. Starting with Tesla here. This is one that I took a look at not too long ago, so I'm just going to update that for you and tell you where Tesla is and where it should be headed from here. It was incepted back in 2010, gave us a very large, clear 5-wave advance into the 2017 high. From there, it embarked on a very large counter-trend 3-wave pullback. They retraced a little bit more than 50% of this 5-wave advance, and then off that 2019 low has really kicked it into gear and gone absolutely nuts to the upside since then in a very clear, trendy 5-wave advance that is not yet complete. So that is the framework on the long-term time frame. Let's go ahead and zoom in and take a little bit closer look at what's happened off that 2019 low. This is a look at that move. It gave us a 5-wave advance into the 2020 high and then a very sharp pullback at that time, a 3-wave move ultimately that completed in March like so many things did. And from there, gave us a very large trendy 5-wave advance that appears to have completed in late August. You can see the nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move. It stalled since then. It's been trading sideways back and forth in what appears to be a 4th wave counter-trend pullback that is offsetting this 2nd wave pullback that happened back in February and March. It does not look like this 4th wave pullback is over yet, but let's go ahead and keep drilling in and take a look at what's going on as we move in here. This takes a look at the advance off of March's low and why we think it's a completed move. You can see it's taken a really nice 5-wave advance up until that high. The pullback that we've seen off of August high has been by far the biggest pullback we've seen since that time, which is one of the main reasons we think that this 5-wave advance completed and why a larger correction is now underway. So you can see it's a counter trend move. You can see the low for the pullback was set in September and it's continued to trade sideways. Another indication that this 4th wave pullback is not yet over. We ultimately expect this 4th wave pullback to find a low somewhere in the yellow support area running from about 225 down to 325. But if nothing else, we expect this move to continue before it's over again to offset that 2nd wave pullback that happened back in February and March. Let's go ahead and zoom in and look a little bit closer at the current pullback here. This is it. It does look like a counter trend move. It's behaving and feels like a counter trend move. Obviously, there's been some huge swings since September's high, but the bottom line is it doesn't look complete. Now, when we get a counter trend pullback, we expect it to end with an ending pattern. An ending pattern is a C wave of an ABC pullback, and it's a sharp move. It's one that we expect to move to a new low before it completes. So all of these things tell us to expect a larger pullback from Tesla off of September's high before it completes. And again, if we jump back out, we're looking for that low to happen somewhere in the yellow support area before it ends. So if you're looking to buy Tesla, I wouldn't buy it yet. A move below 390 at any point confirms that it's still in this counter trend pullback. That's what we expect to happen. We want to see a move below September's low towards that yellow support area. And at that point, once you see that pullback happen, once you see a move into this deeper into this yellow support area, and then you start seeing some strength, trendy strength emerge from there, then you can start looking at buying because it'll be a clear indication that this counter trend pullback ended and that a large 5th wave advance has begun on Tesla. So there's that guy for you, Alan. Let's go ahead and take a look at Pinduoduo. This guy hasn't been around for too long. It was incepted back in 2018, chopped around for a few months, but then it really got going to the upside from there. Definitely one of those hot stocks people are excited about at this time. Off of that 2018 low, we have a leading diagonal 1st wave, a very deep 2nd wave correction, but since then things have really straightened up to the upside and given us just absolutely beautiful, trendy moves to the upside since that 2019 low in, I believe, June, maybe late May. You can see the clear 5-wave move here for wave 1 up, a 3-wave pullback, and then the move off of March's low. Again, a very clear 5-wave advance, found a high in, I believe, early July, and then again gave us the largest pullback we've seen since March's low, a very clear sign that this up leg ended and that a larger correction has begun. Now that correction did test the yellow support area as we'd expect. It took a three-wave form, and now it's showing us more notable strength to the upside. So there is a decent chance that this fourth wave pullback has ended and that PDD is now getting ready to take off to the upside in that fifth wave advance. Let's go ahead and zoom in and get a little bit more detail as we go here. This looks at that pullback off of the early July high. You can see why we think it's a counter trend move. It's headed mostly sideways until we got that ending C wave down into October's low, and now we're seeing more strength. So if you own PDD, this looks like a good opportunity. It looks like it wants to head higher from here. The key on PDD is it needs to stay above 76 at all times to confirm that this big fourth wave pullback is over and that a large fifth wave advance has begun. So if you don't own it, you can buy it. Just put your stop at 76. I wouldn't want to hold it if it moves below that level, because that would indicate a larger pullback is underway and that you want to wait for that to complete before you buy in. So from there, we basically expect PDD to continue to new highs in a fifth wave advance, which should be a pretty substantial move. Overall, we're just looking for the establishment of a larger five-wave advance. This looks like wave one of that larger five-wave advance. But again, as long as it stays above 76, PDD is going to look like a good bullish opportunity as it gives us a large fifth wave advance. So let's go ahead and move on. Now we're going to take a look at VLDR, Velodyne Lidar, I believe. It was incepted back in 2018. Spent a lot of time chopping around sideways, and then it really took off to the upside in 2020. It's been a pretty rough move. Even worse, it's given back a very substantial portion of that advance off the 2020 high and has given us a very large pullback. Just looking at this guy from this point of view, my initial thought is this up leg looks like a three-wave move. Hard to like that. Very hard to like the deep retracement that's taken place in recent weeks. It's nothing that I like on the initial glance at what's going on VLDR. Let's provide a little more detail. This looks at the action that's happened since June. Basically, the only action that's happened on this guy after that drifty price action it started with. And again, we come to the same conclusion. We can try to label it in a trendy way, call this a leading diagonal followed by a three-wave pullback. By far the cleanest move that's happened on VLDR was the trendy five-wave advance off of August low, but once it established a high in September, it reversed. It's retraced more than 61.8% of this five-wave up leg, and again, the entire advance looks like a three-wave move to the upside. Hard to like any of this. It doesn't look bullish. I don't like its prospects from an Elliott Wave perspective. So if we even try harder to make a case for it to be bullish here and try to find some way that it could head higher, we can look at this advance off of October's low. And if we do, we take a closer look at that, we find that it's a three-wave move to the upside. Again, this is not the stuff of trends. We want to see trendy five-wave moves in the direction that we're trading. That's not what we're getting here. This does not look bullish. So again, we take a look at the entire move. It looks like a three-wave recovery, not exactly something that is trendy or something that is sustainable. If this guy is able to somehow turn and move above 26, which is forever away, I mean, you wouldn't want to wait that long anyway, but you kind of have to before this becomes bullish on an Elliott Wave, from an Elliott Wave perspective. You would need to move above 26 before we could reconsider this guy as a buying opportunity. As is, there's just nothing bullish about it. We can't find trendy five-wave moves on any larger time frame, and the pullback itself does not look like it's over. So I would not recommend this guy. I would recommend staying away from it because it does not look like a buying opportunity. So I hope that's helpful. Have a wonderful weekend, Alan. We will talk to you again very soon. Take care.